Yo, what's good, homie? How's everybody doing out there today? It is a wonderful Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
That's right, Wednesday. We figured that out. I don't know. It's February. What's going on in February in Northeast Ohio, you might ask? It's pretty cold outside.
It's fucking miserable.
Yes.
Total. If you want to know what total misery is, you would look out my window right now and you would see it. It is frigid. It is freezing. There is snow. There is ice. This is fucking bullshit world that we're living in.
And as we always say, the weird thing about, especially this weather here, is it'll be frigid for a few days, then it literally goes up to almost 50 degrees for like 2 or 3 days.
Well, in February, next week it's going to be like 1 degree.
So it's going to stay cold at least for a little.
Next week we're going to have like the bullshit. Like this is the period where you get the ultimate just like freeze your ass off shit. Now here's the thing. Over the weekend, we have friends all over, and our friends in California that are in a band called Since We Were Kids. It's like a skate punk band from California. Dan Thrasher, our buddy. And they post this video, and they're playing this show outdoors at a skate park. And there's just like people there, and they're moshing, and there's palm trees, and then there's just like people skateboarding in this fucking bowl and shit while they're playing. And I'm just looking outside of my window, and I'm just like, we had a snowstorm this weekend, and I'm just looking outside. I'm like, the fuck?
It's not like that here, that's for sure.
What the fuck am I doing living in this fucking place, man? These people are living in a paradise.
My Diet Pepsi exploded, everyone. I'm sorry. That's what.
What the fuck are you doing?
It's because it was frozen in my car, so I didn't realize it would just. I'll clean it up.
We'll clean it up later. We'll clean it up after
Steve.
the show. It's okay.
But yeah, Steve is definitely right. Yeah, I was in Kentucky over the weekend, and it wasn't crazy cold, but it was in the 30s, you know. And of course, you know, at this time of year, if it's in the 30s, it's just mud. So basically, it's just you're standing in fucking 2 feet of mud at all times, or it's freezing cold, one or the other. Yeah, I don't know why we don't live in California.
I don't know. I mean, it seems to me like, why would we live here? Why would anybody want to live here? It's just terrible. It's cool when it's not the wintertime. It's not so bad. But the wintertime is just brutality. I feel like that the government should pay us to live here. We should get like a bonus check. Like if you live like in fucking North Dakota or fucking anywhere where it's brutally cold and it snows all winter.
But then the summer is 90 degrees. This summer was 90 degrees for like weeks at a time.
Yeah, it's like oppressive heat and humidity too in the summer. It's just fucking
and
crazy.
humid. And you're in the Midwest technically.
Yeah, we live in a place where there's literally next week it's going to be 0 degrees. That's what the forecast says. It's like 1 or 0 for the low.
I'm excited about that just because I have so many coats. Like if you see I'm dressed like I look like I work outside. I actually don't. I just sit at a tattoo shop and watch YouTube videos. But I have all these crazy outfits. You know, it's like I got to use them.
Yeah, you get to use them for a couple weeks out of the year.
To walk to my job that's inside that I watch TV at. But
you look very rugged, though.
Yes.
You have me fooled.
Yeah, Steve thought I started construction jobs. Like, no, I'm just going to the tattoo shop today. But
I really thought this guy all these years has been doing rough-ass manual labor.
No. Look at these hands. No, not even close. I'm a trickster, though, so. But, man, that actually is kind of disappointing. It's going to be 0 degrees next week.
Yeah, just think about that, man. People in California are just skateboarding out somewhere.
Dude, I see people in Florida. I know a lot of people live in Florida. They legit swim all year round. So they're literally on the beach all year round, like just in like a bikini or, you know, little shorts all year round. And then we're up here, and I'm like, I don't understand why I live here.
It's horrible.
The thing what Steve said, too, talking to the camera, we're talking to you, the weird thing about Ohio is there is some good weather, but it's so short. Like, you'll hit a fall sport of, like, 2 weeks that are so nice.
Yes.
Or spring.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's really not that nice.
You might get lucky in the summer and have some days that are not oppressively hot that you were able to
But it's like if you're not
something.
in a pool,
you're
like, oh, I'm not going outside. It's fucking terrible.
It's fucking miserable.
But the weather. Old men bitching about the weather. I talk about the weather and complain about it ad nauseum, as they say, all day long, every day. So,
yeah,
I enjoy it. So I'll tell a quick story. I was out of town this weekend. I didn't tell this to Steve yet. So I get to this house. It's literally in the middle of a horse farm. So these dudes are like, hey, we're out throwing this party. Cool. We load up this van and go down. I actually wore, and this is what's weird too. So, you know, you go to a big party, but I actually wore a mask most of the time because I had to go back to work, which was kind of shitty, but whatever. So anyways, I get to this big-ass horse farm. It's legit in the middle of nowhere in Kentucky. Kentucky Derby, all that shit. We get there, and as soon as I get out of this van, this dude's like, hey, dude, don't eat those cookies. I was like, why? He goes, you're going to want to eat those cookies. I know you like chocolate chip cookies, especially fresh-baked ones, but don't eat them because they're all weed cookies, and they're very strong weed cookies. So he doesn't tell anyone else this. He just tells me because I guess he thinks everyone just eats edible cookies. So all these dudes I'm with, they don't even smoke weed or do any of that kind of stuff. They're just guys who drink beer after doing construction all day. So everyone goes in the house and starts pounding these cookies because the only food in the house was Budweiser to drink and weed cookies. So I just see all these dudes I know who have absolutely no clue what they're eating, just pounding 5, 6, 7 cookies. So about 20 minutes later, it hits them like, wait, those weren't normal chocolate chip cookies. So half these construction dudes who have never done any kind of weed shit in their life are either in fucking outer space or literally they have their head on the table and are passed out. So I wish Steve been there because he would have for sure ate a bunch of the cookies.
Yeah, I probably would have eaten the cookies.
Here's the thing, and I'm not even kidding. The cookies look like the best fucking chocolate chip cookies you've ever seen. So even me, who doesn't do that, I was like, wow, I really just want. I was like, maybe I should just say fucking just eat the cookie.
It would be difficult to resist.
But then these dudes were fucking in outer space, so I didn't want that. But then when I tried to go to bed that night, I was in a very small room, jammed with a bunch of giant guys. I sleep on the floor always. That's just my thing because I don't want to sleep in bed with another guy who's like 300 pounds. And Steve, can you imagine what that sounded like if you're the last guy to go to sleep? It sounds like Cannibal Corpse is playing in the room. It's just dudes snoring like you're in fucking Clan of the Cave Bear movie.
A lot of sleep apnea going on.
Yeah, which whatever. I snore sometimes too, but I'm usually asleep first. So if you're not, I mean, you're literally... We have some friends that snore literally like hibernating polar bears, and oh, it's tough, man. I was like, oh, I'm fucked. I can't sleep. So then I really thought about eating the weed cookie, but they were all out. So because I was like, if I eat a weed cookie now, is that really breaking straight edge? If I'm just trying to sleep because all these guys are snoring so loud,
Yeah,
I think
just
most.
like
I think
taking a sleeping pill or something.
I think if you ask Minor Threat, they'd say, dude, you got to do that. If it's consensual weed cookie,
I think that they made a song about that in
Yes.
1983.
They did.
There was
weed cookies for good sleep.
it was
I
on a
think it was
7-inch that you don't know about. It's very
Yes.
rare. It's extremely
Pepsi
rare.
went everywhere.
That's okay. We'll clean it up later. I don't want to think about it.
But Steve, would you have eaten the weed cookie to escape Doug and BJ snoring?
No, I'm going to tell you why. Number one, because I prepare for these sorts of things. I've been on these sorts of excursions.
Yes.
I would have brought melatonin. I would have also brought earplugs.
Here's the thing. I had earplugs. Did not work. Not even close. And you know where normal earplugs, I wear earplugs all the time. Actually, Steve does too. Everyone else that we know is totally deaf or will be deaf soon. This isn't even a joke. We play in some if you play in a garage band, punk band, hardcore, whatever, metal band, rock band, the shit's loud as fuck. Just a guy playing drums in a basement is loud as fuck.
Yeah.
Then you're playing this heavy bullshit music that's way too heavy in a small ass room with like way too many people. So I've always worn earplugs. It's just I don't like having my ears ring. And Steve does too. There is not one other person I know that wears earplugs in any band I've ever done. Not even close. So usually you got the earplugs, you got them in your ear, whatever. These are the ones where you're jamming them so far, you're like, I might not be able to get it back out, but I'm trying to sleep. And it didn't work. Nothing. It's like singing Motorhead or something. I mean, it was just, give up, man. You just have to literally just will yourself to sleep or just pass out. I just
you gotta
passed
want
out.
it.
Yeah.
You gotta want to sleep.
But dude, snoring, oh my God, not for me.
Oof.
I mean, when someone falls, if I'm snoring, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to sleep. Too bad for you. But if it's the other way around, I'm sad. Cry myself to sleep. Fuck you, Doug and BJ. And the other three dudes jammed in a small-ass room. But yeah, that's my story from the weekend. Steve, what do you got? I got other stuff, but I'll let him tell something this week.
Well, I don't know if we talked about this. Me and you talked about this, actually. We talked about the Marjorie Taylor Greene lady who says that the California wildfires were made by a Jewish space laser.
Yes, I remember that.
Now, here's some other shit about the lady. The lady is fucking crazy. But here's the thing. Is she really crazy? So I read a report that she talked with one of the parents of one of the Sandy Hook victims. And the mother asked her, like, listen, do you really believe that this happened? Or do you deny totally that this happened? And I guess the Marjorie Taylor Greene lady said, no, I believe it happened. And the mother, per reports, per her account, says that she said, well, I want you to go on tonight. You're going to be on like MSNBC or something. And I want you to say that, that you admit that this happened. And she refused. She wouldn't refuse. She refused to say it on television. So it raises the question, which I've always thought is the truth. If these people are just politicians, just playing everybody, they're playing their base. I don't really think that this lady really believes. I don't think she really believes that there's Jewish space lasers. I mean, if you do, you are straight up like loony bin fucking insane.
Yeah, you're just nuts.
But I really don't believe that this person can believe this fucking shit. I believe that a lot of people are really stupid and they like to be tricked and they like to hear crazy stuff and these people know it. But
I agree 100%.
I really don't think that this chick, or really most of these politicians, they're just politicians. Again, you got to remember what politicians are good at. They're good at lying. They're good at telling you what you want to hear. They're good at saying what they got to say to fucking keep the fucking things going good for them at all times.
Well, I just think it's just how life works. If you look at most people, they just want to be told something. It's why religion has worked or whatever for so many thousands of years. I'm not even knocking religion, but I mean Christianity, Islam, whatever you want to say. I mean, a lot of it makes zero fucking sense, especially for the year 2021. This is shit that was written thousands of years ago that's supposed to apply to your life now. You know what I mean? It doesn't, like, don't thatch your roof on a fucking Sunday or some shit. It's like, it makes no sense at all. But for whatever reason, people still will follow it.
But
even to
really
the old stuff.
It?
Well, they follow, like I said, it's a belief system. Do they follow it? I don't really think so.
I don't
the
think
same
so.
thing is this. Do you think really most people believe a Jewish space laser? Even the people that follow that lady, I really don't think they even care. They just want to they want to oppose something else. They don't like certain things. They want someone to stand up and say wild ass shit and do whatever they want. I watched the thing about that lady too, and like they talked to her constituents in her area, and these people are like, yeah, she's just fighting for us. It's like, what do you mean fighting for us?
She's fighting against the Jewish space lasers.
Normal people are this. They're at work. Most people are just at work, struggling to get by. They got kids to feed, whatever. There's some maniacs. I mean, it just is what it is. You're going to let maniacs run, and a lot of people aren't really paying attention. If they think it's like, hey, this white lady's going to tell some liberal to fuck off, they're like, let's vote for her.
Well, here's the thing. People didn't vote for her. She ran unopposed in her district.
But even the people who are still on her side, including other Republicans, they like that she's basically an enemy of the other side. So they're like, hey, fuck it, we'll take what we can get.
Yeah, well, they know that there's this base of people that are out there who are wackos, who are weird anti-Semitic or straight racist or Nazi-type people, and they want that base,
For sure.
which is sick. It's some sick shit that you really are just like, I am so desperate to be reelected and to keep things going that I will pander and cater to this group of people. And
well, here's the thing. With Republicans in this country, not that Democrats are great, but Republicans aren't even close to as big a party as the Democrats. They never win the popular vote. I don't think they've won the popular vote. What do they say, 20 years or something like that? If longer? They don't. They're actually way smaller, but because of Electoral College and just making up insane shit all the time and basically just fighting at all times and never giving an inch on their side, that's how they can win. Because really, they lose every fucking election by millions and millions of votes.
It's also a testament to just how fucking shitty and inept the Democratic Party truly is.
Yeah, they're trash.
I mean, for real, did you want to vote for Joe Biden? Do you want to vote for Hillary Clinton?
No.
I did not want to vote for these. In fact, I did not vote for Hillary Clinton.
I don't mind
vote
Joe
for
Biden.
Trump, but I voted for a libertarian who I didn't even know who the fuck he was.
That's why Trump won,
because
man.
I fucking refused to vote for Hillary Clinton because she was so terrible.
Do you see this poster? This man hates women. But anyways, my thing with Democrats and Republicans, it's just rich people. Joe Biden, to me, is richer than Donald Trump, so he's probably more powerful in the real world. I don't mind Biden as far as a leader because he just seems like an old grandpa. But, I mean, are his interests really what mine are? Probably not. It's just how the world works. Poor people don't get into office. That's just how everything works. So unless you're rich, you're never going to be a senator or congressman. You're never going to be a president.
No.
So it's only rich people that pull the strings. So it's just like, well, which rich guy do you want? You know, the guy who might help you out a little bit more, that's who you're going to vote for. Or you don't vote and you don't care. You know, whatever. This is depressing.
It's very depressing.
Move to an island, you know. Worship like King Kong type god or something like that. That'd be sweet.
It would be sweet. Speaking of King Kong, what do you think about the King Kong Godzilla movie that's coming?
I was talking to some people this weekend because I didn't realize like he's grown. He was a kid in the one, and then he's grown. So he's like 80 years old or 50 years old.
Because they said in the first one,
Yeah.
the John C. Reilly guy said like he's still growing. He said he's still like he's not as big as he's going to be. He said that. They set that up.
I still think King Kong in a real fight would lose.
Of
but
course.
I mean, it's made up monsters, so I don't know who's going to win. Is Godzilla bad in this one?
That's what the commercials.
The old Godzilla, he was bad kind of and good.
The commercials are indicating that Godzilla is bad, but I don't believe that he will be bad. I guess I don't want to spoil it for people.
I have no idea.
But I believe it's Mecha Godzilla.
Mecha Godzilla is the bad one, and Godzilla is good.
Because if anybody remembers the original Mecha Godzilla movie, that originally Mecha Godzilla had the fake Godzilla skin, and it was led to believe that it was actually Godzilla destroying everything, but it was
Mecha Godzilla.
But it's Mecha Godzilla, and then Godzilla like ripped Mecha Godzilla's skin off, and it was a fucking robot underneath.
Steve still watches Godzilla movies all the time. I haven't watched them in a while, so it's the old ones.
I love Godzilla.
Yeah.
Godzilla is one of those things for real, like, when I watch it, it for real, like, will make me bring, like, a tear to my eye. Like, it is one of the very few things in this world that, like, still will. Because Godzilla was, like, my first favorite character, like, in movies. And that's the thing that got me into liking horror movies and fantasy shit and things like that. So, for me, Godzilla is, like, the most nostalgic thing.
That story brought a tear to my eye.
You're crying.
And Jewish space lasers bring a tear to Marjorie Green Taylor. Is that her name? It's
Yes.
her eye. Which could be in the new movie. You never know. That really might be how King Kong wins. With
Jewish
the
space
aid
laser.
of a Jewish space laser that shoots Godzilla
it could
in
be.
the face. I think I actually saw that on the commercial.
You know, at least they didn't say it was like a Mexican space laser or like a...
Well, here's the thing. It always goes back to, for whatever reason, people hate Jews. I don't get it.
It's just called anti-Semitism.
One of my best friends is a Jewish guy. He's just like a really nice guy. He sent me cookies on Christmas. He's Jewish. Think about that.
I asked Pantsley what he had to do with this. If he
Pants,
knew
our
about
good
this.
buddy.
I asked him if straight up. I was like, dude, what do you know about this Jewish space laser?
He might know more than he leads on to, I'll be honest.
He might. He really might. One day we'll have Pants on this show.
Pants literally asked me this weekend. He's like, can I be on the show? And I told him, I go, Steve, okay, so we're at Steve's house, if you didn't figure that out. I'll give you the address later in the credits if you want to come burn it down or anything like that. Don't do that.
The Jewish space laser will find it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The space laser will kill us on one of these shows. But yeah, he's got this mixer thing. I just don't have it. So I was going to take it because I'm out of town all the time. And then I could do some episodes. Then me and Steve would come back to the home base. But dude, my mind don't fucking work.
Actually,
when I get that thing,
I gotta get something else. The way that we do this is actually insane, and the way that we do this is a way that I can't even explain it. But I'm just gonna tell you this: it's a way that nobody else on Earth would do shit like this. I use this like device that's made for like home recording for music, and like we just run it through and we hook it up to a phone, and
it's just my phone.
Yeah, it's just there's nobody on Earth doing this. It's like really just rigged. It's some like weird ass rigged way to do this. But I actually have to get something else. And we could actually have more than 2 people again. We used to have more than 2 people because we had a bigger mixing board, but we did it much differently.
So we're going to figure that out in the next few weeks. So we'll have more people. We'll bring people here. If I'm on the road, I can talk to different types of people. Because I'd like to have some... This is the thing me and Steve actually haven't talked about. I can talk to anyone. That's what gift I get, curse. I don't know what you want to call it. So there's some wild people that I would have on that are totally opposite of what we think, which would be cool because they're still not bad people. And I'm way tougher than all of them anyway. So if there was a problem, I mean, you'll get to see a fucking Royal Rumble down here. No joke. But anyway, but no, like, so guys like Pants, of course, Trevor Millman, who I talk to all the time. Frisco Dave's birthday was the other day. Quick story about Frisco Dave. You ever have people who, they won't tell you it's their birthday? They'd rather just be sad about it and then, like, throw in a hint, like, that you missed out on their birthday.
You should know since you're their friend.
It's like, I remember Steve's birthday. I remember my kids' mom's. I remember like my kids because they're all. I literally got my kids' birthdays on my knuckles, so I'd remember them. That's about it. 5 people's birthdays. But yeah, Frisco. So he does this thing where he doesn't tell anyone it's his birthday. He just acts really sad all the time. So then the day goes by, and the next day he posts like, "Oh, got this for my birthday for myself," with like a sad face. This is like a fucking 50-year-old man being sad with emojis. I mean, come on. But anyway.
Man.
And I go, wait, dude, why don't you just tell me, man? We could have went and got some food. He's like, oh, it's cool, dude. Nobody remembers my birthday. I'm like, okay, pussy, whatever you want to fucking. Like, I'm fucking, like, we're middle-aged dudes.
I love this.
You know what I mean?
That.
Like, Steve would just be like, hey, dude, it's my birthday. Let's go get some food. If, like, I, for some reason, forgot. It was just not a big deal.
Yeah, man.
Like, it was my birthday this year. I was like, hey, we're going to eat some pizza. Come over. He just came over. That was it. I wasn't like a day later. I'm like, oh, no one remember my birthday.
Oh man, I'm
like
just
crying
so sad.
fucking emoji. Like, what the fuck?
Crying myself asleep.
What are you, 10 years old? Anyways, happy birthday, Frisco.
Hey, speaking
you fucking crybaby.
Speaking of Trevor moment, Trevor will love this. Is that my sister is dating this guy who I never met. And apparently this guy is like a survivalist guy. The guy
John Rambo.
The guy, he's like 7 foot tall. Too.
Really?
Yeah, he came.
We need him on the show.
I met him. And he's a real nice guy. And he's like a survival guy. He like builds his own fucking cabins in the woods. And he was actually asked to be on those shows where they just drop you in the middle of nowhere and you got to survive. Yeah.
Dude, we need him on here.
So anyways, I asked him if he ever saw a Bigfoot. And he was like, I thought this is the type of question you ask somebody and they'll be like, "What the fuck? Get the fuck out of here!" Or they're gonna have a lot to tell you, and he had a lot to tell me.
Most nature guys will say there's definitely stuff in the woods that, not necessarily a Bigfoot, but different things.
He says he's had multiple Bigfoot encounters, one of which involved he was sleeping in the woods, and in the middle of nowhere, he said, and someone was just throwing boulders off of this like cliff. And he said the boulders were so big that like a human could not have thrown them. So he says like it was
and
a
he's Bigfoot sized.
Yeah, he said a Bigfoot was throwing these boulders for sure. And he said he had some other Bigfoot encounter. And he said he says he's seen these orbs. He talks about the orbs that are associated with Bigfoot. He said he's seen the orbs in the middle of nowhere also, and he smelled the smell.
Dude, we need him on.
So yeah, so we were talking about, but here's what he believes Bigfoots are, because we talked about this, and to me at this point, I don't believe that Bigfoot can be real unless Bigfoot is an interdimensional being.
Yes,
I believe we would have found him. So there's a lot of people that say they've shot at a Bigfoot and it just disappeared into nowhere and things like that. So he says, yes, I agree. I agree that they're an interdimensional being. And he explained to me why and how they would be an interdimensional being. Are you ready for this shit?
I'm ready.
Rob's blindsided by this. I didn't tell him about any of this yet. So
no, I don't. We didn't talk about any of this stuff.
I wanted to save it for this. So anyways, here's what he believes. You know this. We've talked about this before on the show with Trevor and everything about the giants that used to exist.
Yes.
About the giants that existed on Earth. So he believes that Bigfoot are offspring of the giants mating with humans, and that the giants are what you would consider the Nephilim, biblically what angels or demons would be, and that's why the Bigfoot has the powers that it has to be like this interdimensional being, because he has human-like, ape-like qualities, but he also has the powers that the Nephilim had.
Okay, so he's the giants, which Trevor Moment talks about a lot.
Yes.
There's like the mounds in Ohio that are supposedly where giants were buried or whatever.
Yeah.
So they had sex with humans and made Bigfoot.
Yeah. Somehow they maybe they didn't have sex. Maybe they just like somehow
they definitely
combine
had
their
sex,
DNA or
me.
something. But
and the sex was wild. It was wild.
It probably would have been pretty wild.
It was loud as fuck too, because the people are huge.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Okay, so Nephilim have sex with the humans, makes Bigfoot, and that's why they're interdimensional.
I never thought about this, and I've never heard this theory before. So
Trevor probably has. I've never heard that before.
This is a great theory. I love this theory. I love this. It makes a lot of sense to me that the giants, that it ties together the Bigfoot with the giants in antiquity. So,
see, here's my take on Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster and all that stuff. So if you ever saw the show In Search Of, which I've been rewatching for the 5 millionth time recently, from the 70s with Leonard Nimoy, he talks about Bigfoot. Very, very creepy. Anyways, my whole thing with Bigfoot and Loch Ness for a long time was, yes, they were real, but they just died. Like, to me, Loch Ness, what is he, 5 billion years old?
I believe
he's
the
not
Loch Ness
live.
Monster does not exist.
But my thing is this. A lot of the Loch Ness stuff they're talking about is from 50, 60, 70. I just think if it was real, he just died.
I agree.
That's it. I just think, like, when I was a kid, there was the guy who was in the 20s or some shit.
Yeah.
The famous picture was from, like, 100 years ago. I think it could have been alive. Maybe it wasn't a dinosaur, but it was something, and it just died. That's it. Bigfoot, I think, could definitely be real, but because there's still certain parts of the world that are undiscovered. But to me, it's like, if he is real, he for sure will be discovered within the next so many years.
I agree. With all our technology and everything, I feel like
or it goes back to this, or he just died. Because that's the thing. It's like any other animal species are just... It's like, when people move in and infringe on animal wildlife stuff, animals become extinct. So to me, it's like he could just become extinct. That's it. He could be alive, but I mean, there's there's places that people have never been to. Sure, maybe he's there. Now, this stuff I was never the guy who had the interdimensional thing, just because maybe I liked the thought that he was just like kind of like a monster guy. So it's not as exciting to me. But I mean, hey, that makes sense. If he is real, it makes sense you never caught him because he was interdimensional.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
So what do you guys at home? People will message me. Just write a comment. That would be easier.
Yeah.
People message me about the show all the time, but it's like, write a comment and then I'll, because if I don't know. I don't remember this shit too well. So you write a comment, we'll get back to you on this. What do you think? Do you think Bigfoot is interdimensional or just a monster guy who lives in a cave? I don't know. The interdimensional one, is as weird as it is, kind of makes more sense. Because then that's why you couldn't find him. But they will talk about, like if a deer carcass, a deer dies, people almost never find the carcass.
Especially a bear. That's the one. The bear. You never find
they never find a bear.
Never find a bear's carcass.
But I feel like at some point you'd find something. I don't know. Who knows? To me, it's like that's the hardest thing to believe in life is Bigfoot. People believe in God and stuff, legit believe in God and stuff. He lives in outer space. It's like, so I got to believe in Bigfoot. I need something here, people. The God stuff don't make sense to me.
No.
No offense to our Christian friends and our sponsors.
Christian Mingle is our sponsor.
Yes, Jesus Hot Dog Truck. Best hot dogs this side of Jerusalem. Very good. But
we got time for one more.
What else? Oh, here's a good one for you people. Steve will love this one.
Okay.
Luckily, I text to Steve every day, but we didn't talk about anything wild. So another thing on this trip. So these dudes picking me up, good friends. I'm not going to mention any names. This isn't a diss on them either. So the old days of crew stuff, the crew was a violent thing for a long time. Now it's literally just guys that hang out because there's no wild shit going on, and everyone's older. So usually in the van, you get in a van, you go on a big trip. Dudes are talking about fights they've been in, beating people up, of course, drinking beer. Me, I'm talking about eating way too much food, wanting to die. Usual dude stuff. Maybe some chicks here and there, but I mean, a lot of these guys are older, so I know that they're full of shit. But so this is the change. Most of the guys in the van literally were talking about getting married, buying houses with their wives, because none of them were married. But they're like, yeah, I think I might settle down. I think this might be the chick, or I'd like to buy a house. Like, I really think we could make something out here. And I'm like, the fuck kind of weak ass shit is this? These dudes are all like, oh man, I just think, my girl, she's just beautiful, man. I'm like, oh my God, you dudes are weak. Like, they don't even try to make shit up. They're not even like, yeah, this chick at work, man. Yeah, man, I could hook up with it, but I'm with, Sandy or whatever. No, they don't even say it. They're like, Sandy, she's like, I'm gonna tell you, she's beautiful, man. She cooks me dinner, and I really would think about marrying her. I'm like, oh my God, I want to just grab the steering wheel and just drive off the fucking bridge. It's like, this is it. This is all we got. I'm like, all I got is some stories about me beating people up and eating a lot of pizza, but it's better than that. Like, oh my God, she is so beautiful. She is so wonderful. Like. It's like half the dudes in this fucking van. I'm like, wow. Then the other dudes, they're smart. They just went to sleep. Because like, this shit is so boring. But it's times change, man. You used to talk about fucking driving to somebody's work and beating them up. Now you're talking about carrying your woman over the threshold at your new ranch home in Columbiana County. So, whatever.
Man.
Times change. That's all I can say. So, I knew Steve would laugh at that one.
That's great.
And it's fucking a true story, too. That ain't even a lie. Maybe I'll make a snippet of that just so they get annoyed by me. Yeah. Steve, what else you got? We got 10:34.
I got nothing, man. I got to get ready to go to fucking work.
Steve's got to go to work. What do you think work's going to be like today?
I think it's going to be terrible, like it is every day.
Okay, how about this? What is the worst part of your day?
Going to work.
What's the first part of your day at work? There you go.
Having to see people who I dislike greatly, who I hate, who I'm forced to be in a building with and have to coexist with, who are total fucking assholes.
See, Steve actually taught me that. I own a business, but I've definitely worked with people I do not like. But you keep them there for whatever bizarre reason, like, like, oh, you got to make money or whatever. And that's the one thing I literally learned, especially from him, too, just being like, if you work with people that you hate, it literally makes your job horrible.
It's awful.
Like, if your job, you can have the shittiest job, but if you work with people you like, it's not going to be as bad.
There's some people that I like there. There's
For
some
sure.
people that are cool, for sure. But there's plenty of people there who I'm just like, I hate this person.
Especially if you hate them. Like,
There's
different,
numerous
like, I don't really care for this guy, but if you hate them,
Yeah, man, I hate them.
that's just not good.
But here's the thing. I'm that kind of guy. Like, I just see the world in black and white, where either I like you or I hate you.
We're take it or leave it, people.
There's not much in between with me. There's some people that I'm indifferent towards, and I just try to just avoid, or I just try not to speak to them at all. There's people at my job who do not believe that I speak. Believe it or not.
Yes, I
there's
don't think you talk.
Yeah, I remember I worked there for a long time, and like the one woman who like I never deal with, somebody told me, like, they're like, yeah, Steve, that guy's like the funniest guy in the world. She's like, really, him? They're like, oh my God, that guy is fucking hilarious, man. He used to tell you the fucking wildest shit all the time. And she's like, really, that guy? Like, because there's people that if I like you, I speak to you. If I do not know you or I do not like you, I do not speak. I do not talk.
That's how I am. I do not talk. I am
No.
a guy who loves to talk. I love to talk. Any kind of people, too. They can tell me whatever. If I do not like you, I will just never speak to you.
Now, I will not say a fucking word to you. I mean, I've talked to management before about this. There's people that like give me a problem at my job. I'm just like, listen, I'm like, I get it. This person doesn't like me. I understand. I don't like them either. Just tell them leave me alone. That's all,
just
man.
fuck off.
Like, don't try to
we're
get
at work.
me in trouble. Don't be trying to tell on me. Like, I don't fucking need that. Just leave me alone. I'll leave you alone. I don't like you. It's cool, man. I don't got to pretend. That's the thing I hate, pretending. I hate the pretend shit. That's the thing that gets me. It's like, we got to pretend. You got to pretend at work that you like everybody and get along with everybody. Fuck
no
that.
way.
Here's the thing. It's like, I don't like you. Leave me alone. Cool.
Which is good. That's the smart way to be. Just, hey, let's just do our job and leave each other alone.
Do your fucking job. Leave me alone. I'll do my fucking job. And I'll leave you alone. That's how it fucking goes. And it's cool, man.
It's because people do this. It's guys I've worked with before. There's guys that aren't bad. They'd be like good, cool guy one day, most miserable guy the other day. Why? Because they bring everything from their home into work. Because in my mind at work, I don't act crazy. I'm not going to act crazy. I just come in and act normal. If I'm pissed at home, I'm not going to come in and act pissed at Steve if we work together. But most people, if they have a bad day, they take it out on you. And it's like, yo, man, just because your wife tells you to do whatever the fuck she wants you to do and you do it and you hate her for it, don't take it out on me. That's not my problem. You're a pussy.
I mean, here's the thing, man.
Fuck you.
Like, where I work, there'll be guys that I don't work that much anymore. I work less, actually, because I run my business at home. And
He won the lottery, the Mega Billions last week.
The Mega Billions.
He gave me $200. That's it.
And a Little Caesars pizza.
Which was good.
I always said this. I've told people at work, if I ever win the lottery, you'll know it because there will be a Little Caesars pizza party. So all you're getting is Little Caesars pizzas.
Steve has said since we were young, if he ever won the lottery, he'd give me money, or if I won, I'd give him money.
Of course.
But here's the weird thing. Not to get off too far of this, but you'll always see these stories about people who win the lottery and they won't give anyone in their family anything. They'll either give it all away and just be broke, or they literally won't even give them like a cent. And I'm like, you just won the money. Like, who cares? Like, obviously make sure you're okay and your immediate family, but like, why wouldn't I give my good friends some money? Like, hey, dude, I'll pay your house off. Like, you just won it's not like you worked for the shit.
No.
Like, what are you going to do? Be buried with $1 billion? Like, okay.
Yes, in a mausoleum.
That's so dumb.
You know, there's people like at my work who work like 12-hour days all the time, and they just are pissed at you that you don't. It's like, listen,
it doesn't
man.
even make sense.
It's like, that's your choice. You want to fucking.
Choice.
That's America. I see this. I've said this before. The meme I hate is the one where people are like, oh, that's cute. I used to work 40 hours a week when I had my first job or something like that. It's
oh,
like,
yeah. We always talk about that one.
I fucking hate that. It's like, fuck you. It's like, you put yourself in a scenario where you bought like 3 trucks. You have a mortgage you can't afford. You're in over your head with debts and shit. That's your fucking problem, not mine. I put myself in a position where right now I don't have to work at that job as much. And you will fucking work more. And there's people who do shit. They're like, I do more than him. I do this. It's like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. When I'm there, I do my job. And I do my job well. I don't give a fuck that you're there 6 hours more than me. Fucking,
I don't know why
they
would
care.
be mad that you work less than them. It doesn't make sense.
It's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, fuck it. That's your choice. If you want to do that, you don't have to do that.
No.
You could fucking work less.
I do not. Go ahead.
Maybe you put yourself in a position where you have to. That's on you. It ain't fucking on me.
No. I don't even have to work full time, and I do, just because I don't have anything else to do, and I enjoy my job. I don't hate. So I work full time. I don't have to work full time. If I wanted to work part time, I would. But it's not like I'm going to take it out on someone else if they, But yeah, we talked about that, though, before, the 40-hour one.
I hate that,
Who
man.
brags about working? Do you think the richest people on earth work that much? They really don't.
No, man.
They might work the same as you full time. That's probably about it. There's always those memes they'll have like, yeah, this guy, when you were on vacation, he wasn't. Or this and that's. Like, what are you talking about? If my dad was a millionaire when I grew up, I would have been pretty set too.
The other thing is I work there, I work my hours, but then I come home here to my house and I have a home business that I work on. So
but that's you're
I
working
probably
more than
actually
full-time.
work more than these people do, but I just enjoy.
You 100% do.
I just enjoy the stuff that I do at my house more. It doesn't really seem like work to me.
No, you 100% do. I mean, because you're working outside of the work.
Yeah.
Dude, I have no idea. People are just hater-ass losers. Hate your fucking bosses for paying you no money. There you go.
Yeah.
Why would you hate the guy who just does the same job as you?
Yeah. Speaking of which, we got to wrap up because I got to go.
Yes. I'd like to say thanks. A lot of people have subscribed lately. A lot of friends. People, if you have some like next week, we'll do another one because Valentine's Day is coming up, so I'll talk tons of trash on people about that. But a bunch of people hit me up. A lot of people, and not even a joke, lots of people want to be on. We'll figure something out. We can make like little side shows to make something go happen. So thank you to Steve, as always, for having me over. And thank you guys for paying attention. We appreciate it.